I would like to share a demo for make-to-order solution of Insphere Consulting. The solution goes this way. It best fit with companies that have a supply chain that has multiple vendors, and each vendor would drop ship to another one, and the last vendor would drop ship to a client. So it would be something like either manufacturing, or a lot of times we've seen apparel footwear companies also have that supply chain. They purchase raw blank from one vendor and have that vendor ship to another one, which will do like a screen print or embroidery before it ship to a customer. Sometimes companies also use outsourced manufacturing for make-to-order processes. It basically also follows the same supply chain pattern. So what it does is it will always start with a sales order. Sales rep will enter based on whatever the customer wants to order. Sometimes customer might have EDI, which will auto-generate the sales order. A sales order can also be generated out of a CPQ. So however the sales order is created, once it gets into the system, let's say in my demonstration graph, we have 5 assembly items. Those are the finished product that we sell to the end customer. The system standard will auto-generate 5 work orders. Each will make 1 assembly item, aka finished product. And this is NetSuite standard. Another standard thing that we can also set up in NetSuite is once a work order is generated, we can auto-generate the PO. Let's say for every single work order, we need 1 raw blank and 1 service item. So this is the raw material. This is, we can call it a outsourced manufacturing, or if it's a apparel footwear, imagine something kind of like a screen print kind of service. Let's assume all of the 5 finished products that the customers are ordering will be made out of 1 raw material and 1 service. So there's 5 work order to make all these finished product. Each of them is using 1 tangible raw material and 1 service item. And NetSuite will auto trigger 1 PO per item at a work order. So this work order number 1 will have 1 PO for this raw material and 1 PO for the service item. Work order number 2, same thing. You need a PO to purchase raw material, and you need a PO to purchase the service offered by outsourced manufacturer or a screen print service provider. So the 5 work orders in this case will generate 10 purchase orders. So what the make-to-order solution that Insphere Consulting creates is really combining all of the purchase order to its own vendor. So look at all these purple purchase order. They're all purchasing a raw material, tangible inventory item. The script will run and will auto combine them into one, we call it a PO combo. So this is something that your vendor, if you give them access, they can see from their vendor portal, and it's combined into one. You can print it into a PDF, which looks just like a regular PO. Same thing for the service item. All of the service item PO are all combined also into another PO combo, which is for a service provider or outsourced manufacturer. So once this PO combination are created, consolidated, if you give vendor access, they can mark it shipped whenever it's literally shipped. And then once the vendor marked it shipped, they can provide a tracking number, things like that. Then what the system would do, what the script would do is the script will auto receive all of these POs, and then it will create assembly builds for all of these work orders. And then it will fulfill the sales order. It will also trigger an email to whichever sales rep that creates that sales order. So this is an overview. We'll dive into a demo in NetSuite. Let me start with creating a sales order. So I've already chosen the customer here. It's just a sample customer. I also chose a location. I called it outside processing. This is really where the service provider is or outsourced manufacturer is located. I'm going to choose some test items that I set up here. So I got some test assembly matrix item. I am more mimicking something like a apparel footwear scenario. So they could be ordering like a black large. So this is imagining like a black large shirt. I have 4 items here. Sometimes you can have more. I will just choose 2 of these items. I'll order 20 of the black large, and I'll order 30 of black small. In the real case scenario, people could order like 200, 300 items per batch, per order. We're just doing 2 for the simplicity for demo. Just gonna go ahead and save it. So this is the step that we're saving the sales order, and we're ordering 2 items. So what we would expect is for every single line item, it's gonna generate a work order. And this shows exactly that. So let me go back to the sales order. You can see exactly which work orders are generated for each line. So I'm ordering 20 of the black large. I'm ordering 30 of the black small. Over here, I can see there is a work order for black large, and there's a work order for black small. So this is the one that's generating this black large, is making that. And the items used is a raw material inventory item as well as a service item. Same thing for this work order. It's trying to make black small, and it's using a inventory item like a raw blank, as well as a purchase order for service item. And you can see on the work order directly that the system also auto-generated PO. So for this raw blank, we have a purchase order from this BBB company, which is the company that we're gonna order all the raw material from. Same thing with this order for black large. We have a purchase order from BBB company to order this raw material inventory item. The service item, I set it up as all from this AAA consulting company that's offering a service. So here is a different purchase order from this company for our service item. Same thing as another work order. The same PO for raw material and the PO for service item. So basically, one sales order for 2 items generated 2 work orders, and each work order generated 2 purchase order. So there are total 4 purchase orders here. So imagining a company that orders like 200, 300 items per order, it's gonna generate like 200 work orders, which might lead to like 400 purchase orders. End of day, no purchasing team would really send individual purchase order, like 400 purchase orders to their vendors. So this is where our script and our make to order solution comes in. What we're gonna do is I have a list of what we call the purchase order combo. So the sales order that I just created actually generated two consolidated purchase combo. One of them is this one. It's from AAA consulting firm that is ordering the service. Another one is from this BBB company that is ordering the raw materials. So let's say if you gave your vendor the vendor portal access, they're able to tell you like the ETA of shipping, things like that. And then when it's actually shipped, they can go ahead and mark shipped. This is the company that ship your raw material or raw blank inventory item to this service company. And then the service company go ahead and make that final product. And once it's made, once it's shipped to the customer, they're gonna come here and go ahead and mark it shipped. So back to our illustration, we have generated the work order and have generated the purchase order, and we have combined the purchase order to raw material vendor and a service vendor. Now they've both marked shipped, and then what the script would do is it would go ahead and receive all these PO, it would assembly build the work order, and it will go ahead and fulfill the sales order. So technically, in real case scenario, the script will be scheduled to run like every 30 minutes or an hour or every day. But for this time, I'm just gonna go ahead and execute to trigger this manually for this time. But in real case scenario, this should be scheduled. And looks like the status is complete. Now let's go back and check all of our related orders. So first of all, this was our original sales order. Now let me refresh the page. So now you can see the status already changed from pending fulfilled to pending billing. This is actually here, means the sales order has already been fulfilled. There should be an email triggered to the sales rep as well. When we go to the related record, we can see this item fulfillment. This item fulfillment is actually auto-generated by the script based on the one that we just ran. If I go back to the work orders, I actually have the tab open. So these are the two work orders that we generated from the sales order 756 and 757. Now let me give both of them a refresh. You can see it's from released to built. That means we can expect an assembly build record here. This is also auto-gen from the script. Same thing with the other work order for a different shirt. You can see it status also changed, and we can expect the related record has assembly build record auto created as well. Now let me go back to the work orders items. This is a raw material, like a raw blank that we ship to either the service provider or outside manufacturer, however you want to call it. We can go to this purchase order. You can see this one is already received, which is a pending billing one. That means it's already received. And the related record, you can see there's an item receipt already created. This is also auto-generated by the script. And that's the item receipt. So back to our overview, we have already witnessed that this is auto create. As soon as your sales order creates the sales order, really the rest is all auto generation. There shouldn't be any additional manual operation processes unless you do not want to give vendor and vendor portal access. Then you might have to manually mark the purchase order shipped when it's shipped, when you get that information from the vendor. Otherwise, if you give vendor access, they can mark shipped whenever it's truly shipped. And then the entire process is all auto creation.